thanks for joining me. It's been a while since I did my previous videos, but I'm back now, and today we're going to be talking about how a relationship works. And there are three main aspects to any healthy relationship. The first being communication. So communication meaning, yes, of course, speaking, expressing our body language, how we say things, but really more important than that is listening. We do not, as a nation, listen to each other enough. We don't listen to each other enough at all in our relationships. And what I mean by relationship is basically any relationship you have. So it could be a relationship with your partner, your child, it could be a relationship with your colleague, it could be a relationship with your parents, your siblings, friends, anyone else. So let's talk about how listening is so important in a relationship. I'd like you to ask yourself these questions. Are you listening to your partner? Are you fully and attentively listening to your partner? Does your partner ever say, "You're not listening to me"? And I bet there'll be many people watching saying, yeah, actually many times you've been told that you're not actually listening to the other person. And we all do that. And I think that's a really clear indication that actually we should be listening more. So let's ask another question. What are the barriers to listening to our partner? So why is it that we can't fully listen to people? What's actually getting in the way? And there might be obviously more than one, but the main thing is actually ego. Our ego wants to control. Our ego doesn't want to let go. Our ego wants to just be there defending ourselves, and we are so sure in our ego that we are absolutely right about what we're saying and that other people need to be listening to us. And that's when our emotions get in the way as well. And that's why we need to kind of keep that in check. But the funny thing is, true power lies in submission. So by surrendering and by listening to our partner, we can actually feel powerful. Power is not about control. It actually comes down to submission and surrender. Ask yourself this question. What would it look like? What would it lead to if I listened to this person? Will this create harm for me? Well, emotionally, yes. Physically, no. Emotionally, yes, it does have harm. But aren't we supposed to be testing ourselves? Aren't we supposed to be experiencing these things in order for us to grow? Now ask yourself another question. Is your ego getting in the way of building a relationship? And this is when we really need to learn to be vulnerable. We need to learn to trust the good and the bad. We need to learn the process of it, because the process just comes in waves, you know. Sometimes it's a good feeling, sometimes it's a bad feeling, but that is the process. Okay, and when it comes to listening, we want to be fully listening. And that means listening to the reality of your partner, because their reality would be different to your reality. We all have different perceptions of how things are, because we all have different experiences, different past, different history, and that's why we need to actually listen to whatever reality our partner, whoever it is actually sharing with us, no matter how different it might be to our reality, no matter how much we don't want to hear it. Unless we align ourselves to the reality of that partner, then we can't completely empathize, and therefore we can't completely connect and listen and build healthy relationships. Okay, so one of the main ways that you can actually listen to that partner, and it's really simple, and that's just by putting your full attention onto that person, onto everything that person is saying to you. So that means no matter, even if you're thinking about tidying something up or something's going on over there, then forget it, okay? This is all about you showing that you can listen to your partner, and the only way of doing that is by being completely 100% present with them and by following exactly what they're saying to you. So it's about 100% presence with them, putting your full energy, full effort into it. And when your partner feels listened to, then they're more likely to listen to you because they feel valued and acknowledged. And that's the main thing about listening is by acknowledging that person, and by acknowledging that builds the next step for a healthy relationship. The second aspect to a relationship comes down to roles. We all have roles in our relationship, whether we're aware of this or not. We also have roles in society. Again, maybe not aware of it, but we do. We naturally do. That's just what we are. And we fit in some places and we don't fit in other places, not as much. So I'd like you to ask yourself this question. What are your roles in your relationship? How can you fit your roles together to make the relationship work? So it's about identifying what your role is in that relationship and how can you make your roles fit together to make it work. The third aspect to any relationship are intentions and goals. So think about what your short-term and long-term intentions and goals are. So I'm going to give you an example of something that's actually happened to me. Recently, me and my partner had an argument over our roles, funny enough, of what we're meant to do while we're making dinner, so how we prepare our dinner. And we had an argument because of it, because we both had different expectations of what we each wanted from each other. And because of that, we had a conflict. But my partner, instead of continuing with that conflict, instead of continuing with that argument with me, he let go of that argument. And actually, we ended up having a nice evening because of it. And then later on, he said to me that he purposefully let go of that argument in order to have a nice evening. That's an example of a short-term goal. So by making conscious goals for what you want, the conflict wouldn't matter. So ask yourself these questions. What are the goals in your relationship? Next time you're in an argument, set a goal. Long-term goals for your relationship. Do you want continued conflict? If not, then harmonize. Okay. We've talked about the three aspects of a relationship, but through all that, we need to be using awareness. By being more and more aware of ourselves, we can build healthier relationships. So I'd like you to start practicing analyzing yourselves. Ask yourself these questions. So after an argument, ask, why did I react like that? What was it that I actually wanted? Did I achieve this desire from my behavior? What can I do next time to achieve my goal? Even though in a relationship it takes both people, yes, but unless we work on ourselves individually, the relationship cannot work. So it's both individual self-development, but also the development, the growth in the relationship. It takes both. So as a summary, think about how you're listening and how you can more effectively listen in your relationship, but also think about the roles that you play and your partner plays in your relationship. But also think about and talk about with your partner the intentions and goals in your relationship. Until next time, take care.